Hey guys, Just Little Magic here, and check it out. We are on the January Magic Tournament Rules Release Notes page. Ooh, I'm so excited to read this. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Scott Larrabee, for making this. So, I'm not going to read the intro. It's boring. Basically, these are all the rules changes that you need to be aware of due to everything. Just anything changing, it's like, here, have some rules. And they usually do this right after a banning, so it makes sense. Let me just throw this out there. I'm going to give this a level of respect that you're probably expecting from me after watching my channel for so long. So, in other words, I'm just letting you know where this bus is going before you get on. I'm not going to take this very seriously. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the schedule has been added. Yay, great. I don't care. I don't care when they are. I'm not going to watch them. I'm not going to be at them. And they're all a joke and they're all a bunch of cheaters. So skip that part. Section 1.4, Participation Eligibility. The list of events in which tournament officials may participate has been updated, removing old and adding new programs. Fascinating. So, tournament officials. For most of us, that means like the store owner, which is like the TO. They have changed this so many damn times, I cannot even tell you where it landed. And I've heard rumors, I've heard contradictory statements, I've heard everything. So, as far as I know right now, the TO, the tournament organizer, basically the store owner, the staff who's running the event, cannot participate in it. I also know that nobody respects this rule or follows it in any way, shape, or form. So usually the store owner just has two DCI numbers. One's a dummy one and one's a real one. And this is just up to their preference. If they want to join into their own F&M because otherwise they open a magic shop because they love it and then never get to play, that's stupid. They'll just jump in. So completely pointless rule, but I guess whatever. So section 2.14, track totals. This is pretty nuts. This section was previously called life totals. However, there are certain other totals, namely poison and energy, that are tracked similarly is what it would have been correct if you would have said that, to life totals. So we have updated the section to include those. Note that you don't need to declare that you are tracking energy or poison until you gain your first energy counter or receive your first poison counter. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. Now, they did not say that the inverse is true, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume it is, and I think a judge would agree with me. Let me know if this has ever happened. Okay, so you don't, at the beginning of the game, have to slap out an energy counter token, put like a die with a 0 on it, which let's get into dice in a second here. But you don't have to be like, I'm playing energy. You can wait until everybody mulliganed, everybody's set, you play your first cards, okay, oh, now I just generated an energy. Let me go get my energy tracker out of my deck box. That is not misleading. That is not hiding information. It's not public information. It's not free information, as they call it. It's perfectly legal to do that. And I would recommend that even at F&M, you do that. Now, if you were to have a deck and you're playing absolutely 0 cards that generate or use energy in any way, and at the beginning of the game, just to mislead your opponent, basically, you slap down an energy counter, and then they think, oh, he's playing energy, and you know full well that you're never going to use it. Is that not allowed? Because it's kind of misrepresenting the game state, kind of, but not really the game state. It's not like a statistic. I mean, it's not like you put a 1 on it. There's still a 0 there. So I think a judge would say, yeah, you're trying to be purposely misleading and give your opponent false information. I mean, maybe if you slap down every single type of counter ever, like you sit down for standard and you slap down like an infect counter, like a storm counter of just everything that could ever possibly happen to a player, and you've got all those out, then it's like, I'm just being prepared. Okay, if you want to waste everybody's time and the space on the table. But anyway, I'm very curious about that. I wonder if it's ever happened, if anybody's ever heard of somebody trying to pull that crap at a tournament. It sounds like something somebody would do. Let me know how that went. So now they say, additionally, at competitive or professional REL, so rules enforcement level, you need to use a method to track totals that cannot be easily changed by accident. Tracking on paper is best. So in other words, you cannot use dice. It's not just, oh, they're now going to not believe you if there's a discrepancy and one guy's using paper and you are using a die because yours is easier to manipulate. No, it's you can't get out the life die in the first place. You cannot track any, what do they call it? Tracked totals with dice at all. Now, by you, I mean you if you're at competitive or professionals rules enforcement level. I forgot what the one at F&M is called. I think it's called like standard rules enforcement level or something, or oh no, it's called regular REL. So regular REL is F&M. So you guys don't have to worry about it, but I would very strongly recommend that you don't use dice. They're just bad. I know that Wizards literally hands you a die with 20 sides on it in sequential order for the pre-release. You're not supposed to use it. Yeah, let that one sink in. So, but yeah, competitive and professional is basically Grand Prix, Pro Tour. There's this whole list. The professional level, I don't even understand. But it's not going to affect most people. It's just they know everybody at tournaments is cheating, so they're at least trying to pretend they're doing something about it. That's what's really at the end of this. But yeah, I mean, with paper, you've got like an audit log. You can go back in history and say, I crossed this off. I put it 5 lower. Here's why. I remember what happened. And then your opponent could say, no, you missed that this had life link. That's why our 2 life totals don't match up. And then you can reconcile it. Sometimes even without calling a judge, you could just be like, no, you missed that. Oops, I missed that. Cool. You know that the person wasn't, misrepresenting the board state or the game state. So next up, Authorize Cards. This is stupid. We have clarified this section so it is clear that silver bordered cards are allowed in casual play, assuming your store or group agrees. Okay, it comes down to what is casual play, because I looked at the list of RELs, rules enforcement levels, and there is no rules enforcement level called casual. Now, there is an unofficial REL for casual in that it isn't an REL. So that hopefully that's not confusing. It is. But Wizards can't tell you what to do at your kitchen table or at your school cafeteria or wherever else you're playing casually, just on a Thursday night at your LGS with your friends. They can't tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. Although they can tell you not to use proxies. So apparently that's a thing. Look up Proxygate. But anyway, I don't get why this was necessary. I really don't. And like casual play, yeah, silver boarded and silver constructed is legal, I guess, because it's whatever you say it is. They can't tell you what it is. They don't need to tell you that you can do something in casual. You could draw little kitty cat faces on all your cards. You could make up your own cards if you want. You could glue them to the front of your cards, and who cares? You could play with nothing but oversized cards and just have a commander battle with unlimited mana. You can make up your own rules. You can roll a d20 to determine your starting life total. I mean, you can play Blitzkrieg format. It doesn't matter. It's casual. They can't tell you what to do. So why the hell did they feel the need to say it is legal to use silver bordered cards if you're not following any of our rules anyway? So we made a rule about it. What the hell is this? So the only out that I'll give them on this is I think that in the tournament scoring software, if you just show up with a group of people randomly on like a Sunday or something at your LGS, just out of nowhere, you got 6 people and you're like, we just want to play a round robin tournament. They'll be like, cool. Let me put it into the scoring system, and they're not going to print like rounds for you necessarily. They actually can. I think that is a format choice. I've never really seen the software, but they add it as a casual event. So it is like a WPN event, but it isn't because it's casual. So you don't have to really put in any particular information or follow any kind of formats. It's just people are playing Magic and they're here at my shop. Here's their DCI numbers. Boom. And then that counts towards the total number of events that were run in a year, which determines the level of the store. So it's like Gateway and then 3 others. I think the top one is Advanced. And it's like, with Advanced, you have to run 102 events per year or something. So yeah, if you show up with friends, make sure you walk up to the staff member and say, hey, register this as an event. So I'm thinking that's maybe what they were clarifying is, if you want to ring it up as an official WPN but still casual event, it's perfectly acceptable for the people to show up with unstable constructed or just whatever, So I guess that kind of is nice, because then shop owners didn't know if they were breaking some kind of rule or something, because the people are completely not following anything from the WPN at all. So anyway, next part, sections 3.7, 6.3, 6.4, and Appendix D, which is my favorite appendix by far. Booster mixes for limited tournaments. These sections have been updated to reflect that the core set 2019, which is coming out in 2018, release date has been changed to July 13th, 2018. You can read more about that here, in which they will fail to explain any kind of reasoning behind it whatsoever. So, really, they're just like, okay, what boosters will be legal for mixed tournaments? Apparently that requires a rule change instead of just a reference to like a date range. I don't get why they did that, but they're burying the lead here a little bit. It's been moved from July 20th to July 13th for no apparent reason. I don't understand it either. They have not given a reason that I've heard to move it closer to July 4th. I don't know. Who knows? This one's fun. Section 4.1 player communication. A one-word addition was made. I really wish I had it before and after and knew what that one word was. To clarify that a player's status, monarch, ascended, whatever, is free information. So for the full explanation of this change, see Toby Elliott's breakdown. I'm sure that's a great read, but I'm not going to do that. So that's cool. Free information is like you can request it at any time. It's like your opponent's life total. That's free information. It's available to all players, and I'm just gonna massacre the definition if I try and define it. Look it up if you're so dang interested. But basically, it means that you can ask if they're the monarch, and they can't lie about it. They can't hide it. They can't purposely put their hand over the monarch token and pretend like they don't have it. That's misrepresenting the board state or the game state. So I don't know. That's interesting that actually wasn't a thing. But yeah, ascended, that's huge though. You can ask them if they're ascended if they were too lazy to put the token out, which too lazy to put the token out when you do have it. I mean, the same with emblems. You got to represent it with something. That actually is also misrepresenting the game state. So at least they got a rule about it now. So let's see. Section 4.2 tournament shortcuts. I swear to God, if this is that crap with that other dude again, oh my God. I haven't read this one yet. The shortcut involving adding multiple objects to the stack has been updated for clarity. Good, I didn't know how that worked anyway. Well, they haven't fixed the whole, you ask them a question, it implies something that has nothing to do with the question. I don't remember what the hell the wording was, but that was just such a rules lawyering disaster. And the guy wasn't even a native English speaker. It was just such a load of crap, and Wizards hasn't fixed it. So good job, guys. Oh, Toby Elliott's breakdown for this one, too. I'll add that to my must-read list. Here we go. Section 5.2, bribery. They have an entire section titled bribery. That's awesome. Wording changes to make the rules a bit more explicit. Yeah, they were a little bit soft before. They just want to be probably like, here's an example of what you can't do specifically. And here's another one. That's probably what they added. So they're not big on bribery, and all the pro players do it anyway, constantly, at every tournament. So good job, Wizards, on almost cracking down on that. Section 6.3, standard format. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, the card bans, everybody knows that. Duh. Basically, it's probably saying you can't play them. So very creative on there. 8.3, team communication rules. Hallelujah. They're going to stop certain teams that I should probably stop naming by name for legal reasons from using illegal hand signals to give each other information that is not, well, basically just cheating. They're sharing information with hand signals from a distance, which is cheating at the tournament. Wizards likes to hide it, brush it under the rug, hide it, and just tell them to stop. No consequences ever. Oh, as long as they know your team and they're familiar with you. Then they'll brush it under the rug. Yep. Everything's getting swept under the rug. So I'm never going to stop talking about that because that was the most bullshit thing that's ever happened on a live stream. Anyway, you know what they did about it? Okay, they just made them sit further apart. That was it. They weren't like, oh, you just cheated, your whole team's disqualified. You obviously planned this. You memorized hand signals that you knew were illegal ahead of time and then used them while on camera with tens of thousands of people watching. And we're just going to, just sit further apart and don't do it again. More like, we know that you guys cheat. Just stop being so obvious about it and stop doing it on camera. That's basically my take on it. So, all communication rules have been consolidated in Section 4.5. That's the change. Not, hey, this douchebag team who constantly cheats, stop using hand signals. I don't know, probably because that's already in the rules and they just don't give a shit that they're the ones violating it. That's probably what it is. So Section 10.3, invitation-only tournaments. Wording has been updated to clarify that invitation-only non-premier events need to be sanctioned as WPN premium tournaments. What does that even mean? Like, non-premier need to be sanctioned as, premium. Oh, I probably read that wrong. I'm like, what? They need to be sanctioned as WPN premium tournaments. In practice, this has been true for a while. We're just playing a little bit of catch-up. Oh, yeah, I'm sure everybody was complying with that. I've never heard of such a thing. I guess if you're going to run an invite-only tournament, like some kind of celebrity tournament or something, or all streamers tournament, then in order for you to run it as a WPN event, well, can't you just run it as a casual event? Once again, you can't tell me that I can't get 50 people of my choice in a room and have play Magic with them. You can't tell me that. You can't tell Jeremy it either. That doesn't make any sense. So I guess they mean if you're going to take DCI numbers and use their scoring system is what I assume they're referring to, because this is all in the context of tournament rules, and it's not a tournament if it's not a tournament, I guess. This is deeply complicated, but they need to be sanctioned by the as WPN premium tournaments. So I guess you need Wizards' permission to not just let the public in. I'm sure it's a mess. I don't even want to touch this one. Oh, let's see. Magic the Gathering tournament rules, viewable here, and then yeah, it's a document. Here's what's in it. I just want to read the whole thing so badly, but I'm not gonna. Oh, infraction procedure guide. That'll be fun. I want to see like really weird crap, like somebody slips and falls on some spilled ice on the way to the bathroom in the middle of a match. Do they get an extension until they get out of the hospital? And who do they sue? What happens when you pick up a chair and throw it at a judge? What's the infraction procedure for that? Just remember, there's like 14 people that are banned for life in the DCI system, and they don't give a reason. So I'm just going to imagine it involved chairs and judges. Oh boy. So I encourage anyone who's interested in tournament level Magic to read these documents. Okay, so I won't then. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next rules change. Woo!